for some of you people, but I had a lot of comments in a recent Instagram post, and one of the guys on Patreon was asking about the inner workings of the kiln. So this is going to be a little crash course here on how this thing works. So this is the back wall of the kiln. This is the main unit right here. This kiln right here is the KD150 Wood-Mizer model. They're made by Nile, and they sell them as well. They're the major distributor of them, but Wood-Mizer also sells them as well. I think they're the same price. I got mine from Wood-Mizer, same kiln though. KD150, it's capable of drying about 1,000 board feet of pine or poplar. If you have oak in here, about 600 feet, or any kind of hardwood. But that stuff that's green, that's not stuff that's been air dried first. I air dry all my timber first, therefore I can put 1,000 feet in here of about anything and not have to worry about it. So essentially the kiln does two different things. It has a heater built into it. There's two fans on top to help circulate the air, especially the heat that comes out of the heater. That's really important. Here's the fan on the other side, and in case you're wondering why this insulation is in here, you don't want any kind of air gaps between this top shelf. You pan down just a little. You don't want any air gaps between this kiln unit and this shelf right here, because you want all the air to come back through this kiln before it circulates back through the wood. That way the moisture is removed from the wood. Here's the third thing it does. Remove this filter, and right here is the compressor. The water that's in the air comes through here, gets turned back into water by the compressor. And there's a little reservoir in there. When it fills up, it's a gravity fed through this hose and goes to a bucket outside of the building. Pretty simple. Now up here on this top shelf, the other side's just the same as this one. We'll just go over this side. These are some cheap halogen lights you get at Home Depot. They're like $15. I use these to help heat the kiln up faster when I start sterilizing the wood. And when we start sterilizing this load going in today, I'll take you guys in here and show you guys what's going on and why we use that. Pan over just a little. Right there beside it is an additional fan. This is the same kind of fan that's in the top of the kiln. You can buy these separately. I run two of these on top of this shelf up here to help circulate even more air. I can't remember how much CFMs this is. It's pretty high. It's a really strong little electric motor in that fan. They're about $80 a piece. And some people actually run 4 of these fans on top of this shelf. And this shelf is just really a place to baffle the insulation on top of, to baffle the load. And that'll make more sense here in a minute when we put some lumber in here. That's the main purpose of this shelf, to house these fans and also have something for the baffle to rest on. Whenever I do a video on this kiln, people always ask me how much does it cost to run this thing. Well, this kiln unit runs off 110. There's nothing in here that runs off 220. And the sub panel outside is 220, but 110 breakers are feeding every one of these components in here. The lights, the fans, the kiln, it's all 110. No 220 is being used. And I think the total amperage being pulled is like 11 amps if you have all the fans running plus the lights and the kiln at the same time. So this thing's pretty efficient. If I run it for 30 days straight, for a solid month and don't turn it off, which is very rare, I've only done that once, it ups my electric bill by about $35 or $40. So it doesn't pull a lot of amps. 110, it's not pulling no more amps than a lot of your household appliances are if you run them continuously. And this kiln is about $4,000. With that, you get all the gauges, or the instruments rather. I'll show you guys that just here in a second. You see these cords coming down behind me. That's going to 2 very important instruments here by the door. You get both vents with it. You don't get the extra fans. You can upgrade and get those. I highly recommend it with these lights. So the lights are about 30 bucks for 2. The fans are about $80 a piece, I think. So for, gosh, $4,200 you got your kiln, but you also got to build this chamber. And to build a chamber like this, and they give you the plans on how to build it and what specifications, you're looking at about $8,000 to $10,000. So about maybe $14,000, $15,000 you can have a kiln. Depends on how handy you are. If you do all the work yourself, a little bit cheaper. But that's about what it costs to build one of these, and they are very good money makers, I'll tell you that. If you start selling kiln dried wood, your wood will sell a lot faster than these guys are selling stuff straight off the sawmill. Trust me on that. So let me take the camera over here and show you these 2 instruments here by the door and these 2 vents that are on both sides of the building. Then we'll start loading up some walnut in here, getting this thing started up. I'm not drying nothing for about 3 months now. I need to get this thing going. Running out of room. So you guys have already probably seen these 2 things before. This is a small little water tank right here. I need to cut some of this wick off. It is dried up right there. Every once in a while this stuff dries up on you. You got to pull it up and get some more new. But this is probably 20 feet long. It's all the way wrapped down in there, submerged in the water. I'm probably out of water too, looks like it. But this is full of water. This wick goes on top of this little probe, and that shows you what the wet bulb temperature is in here, or the humidity that's in the air. And right here above it, that's the dry bulb. That shows you what the temperature is inside the kiln. And you can see both of these readings on the outside control panel on the actual kiln box. I'll show you guys that here in a few minutes also. So right there beside my coffee cup, my buddy up in Alaska brought me that about, gosh, it's been about 2 years ago maybe. He brought me that from Alaska. Good coffee mug. But anyways, guys, right there is the vent. This is the outtake vent, and Wood-Mizer, or Nile rather, has an option now. You can get a powered vent. Actually has a little motor and a fan that sits in here that helps get the hot air out of here. And I may upgrade to those one day. I need to really do that. My buddy Tim's been on me about upgrading to that. That's something I'll probably need to do eventually. But this opens up and your kiln needs vented off because it would get too hot on you, especially in the summertime. And for me, in the wintertime, it gets hot as well because I overbuilt the crap out of this thing, and that's my number one problem with this kiln is I over insulated it and it gets too hot. So I'm constantly trying to keep this door wide open. I actually also cracked open the front doors of the kiln about 1/4 of an inch just to get the temperature to come down. So here's the first 2 layers I put in the kiln this morning. We got 4/4 walnut on the first 2 rows, or layers rather. And they've been air dried down to 16% moisture content. A few of them are actually at 12. And it looks like by the grain on some of them, got some 1/4 sawn walnut in there. These are 5/4. These would be really nice boards once they've dried and run through a planer. They'll finish off at about 7/8 on their thickness. Got our stickers right here, and that's these little fern strips that are laying on the face of these boards. You want to space those every 16 inches, just like you do on studs in a wall. Now, some people do 24 inches. I've seen some people do 30 inches. Do them every 16 inches, guys. That's the best practice to have the flattest boards possible if you're air drying or kiln drying, or in this case, both. 16-inch centers. Can't go wrong. Alright guys, 5 more layers have been put on this stack. Got some nice 9/4 black walnut right there. Most of it's crotch walnut. And if you're wondering why I have different thicknesses in here, the reason being this has all been air dried to about 15%. So when you have the same species and it's a different thickness, but everything's the same moisture content, you can kind of mix and match on your thicknesses and be okay on this drying stuff. If this stuff was green, we would not be doing that. I wouldn't be doing 8/4 green walnut in the first place. I air dry everything first. Let me go look through my pile and put on a few more layers here. We should be good to go. All right guys, right here the next day, I ran out of daylight last night. By the time I got this thing loaded up and baffled, I had to take Bruno to a basketball game, so I didn't turn it on yet. So I got the baffle on there, and what that does is encourages the air to come up from the top through those fans and circulate down through the wood stack. That's what those baffles are for right there. That's just a lot of leftover insulation from where we built the kiln. And there's the cat coming out. I'm glad she came out now, not later. Gotta watch her. She likes to get in here and crawl around. Don't want to lock her up in here. And then right here in the front, I have 3 cheap Walmart box fans. They're like $20 a piece or something. And I set those up in front of the stack, and that just helps circulate the warm air through the lumber. Because all this kiln is doing is warming up the air inside of the kiln and circulating that air through the wood, which dries the wood and brings the moisture out. Then the compressor pulls the water out of the air and gets rid of it. It's pretty simple when you think about it that way. So let's get this cat out of here, close up the doors, and turn this thing on. Getting a little windy out there. I had to step in here inside the sawmill so you guys could hear me. What we'll probably do is come back on Friday. I'm not sure what we'll be sawmilling on Friday, and I'll do a little kiln update and show you guys what the temperature's at, and probably adjust that and bump it up to about 120 and probably 85 or even 80 on the compressor. And should work out pretty good. Hopefully get that dry, because I got a bunch of more slabs to dry, because as you can see behind me, I am totally out of room in here.